Welcome to season 3, episode 2 of I Wasn't Taught to Be a Wife podcast with your host, Jamie Radiance Moorhead, your favorite Christian life coach. And today we are going to be talking about marriage. So if you have had the time, you need to watch the first video that says I Wasn't Taught to Be a Wife, why I somewhat created the podcast. It gives you a brief synopsis of why I created it, why I named it that. Today, I'm going to go ahead and start off with reading the verse of concentration, which is Titus chapter 2, verses 4 through 8, which says, "Likewise, tell the older women to behave the way people leading a holy life should. They shouldn't be slanderers or slaves to excessive drinking. They should teach what is good, thus training the younger women to love their husbands and children, to be self-controlled and pure, to take good care of their homes and submit to their husbands. In this way, God's message will not be brought to disgrace. Similarly, urge the young men to be self-controlled. And in everything, set them an example yourself by doing what is good. When you are teaching, have integrity and be serious. Let everything you say be so wholesome that an opponent will be put to shame because he will have nothing bad to say about us." That's big, you guys. And so now you need to be looking at yourself, your pastors, your teachers, your evangelists, and hold them to this standard here in Titus. Actually, like I said in the previous one, read the book of Titus. It's 3 chapters, the 3 best chapters of your entire life to help you not one, be a better Christian, but be able to discern the people around you and whether you should be engaging with them. So, marriage. I looked up marriage, and this is what it said. In biblical times, marriage was primarily a social and economic arrangement between families, rather than a romantic union between individuals. It was a way to form alliances, secure property, and ensure lineage. While love might develop over time, it wasn't the primary reason for marriage, nor should it be the primary reason for marriage now. The problem is that people don't understand that love is fleeting. Love actually is a choice, not a feeling. You have to make a constant choice. Choose to love somebody daily. It's just the truth. So I don't know if you've ever heard that, but that is the truth. It's something that I've always said is love is a choice. It's not a feeling. I have to choose to love you every day. And so let's see what else it says. It says arranged marriages, family involvement. Marriages were typically arranged by the families, particularly the fathers of the bride and the groom. And so with that understanding that there's so many fatherless homes or inactive fathers, that's why the marriages are not being arranged properly. A lot of times women, yes, I'm saying this because even if you have a daddy in the home, you do not take that certain boy to your father, and you should, because your father, whether you understand it or not, is able to discern the heart of that individual. And usually, daddy is right. Okay? Limited choice. The individuals being married often had little say in the decision and might not have even met before the betrothal. Think about that. I've been going over like Bible marriage stories where the spouse was picked. It was picked by God too, right? So I'm gonna just leave that. I'm not gonna say anything else. We will go through that so that we can have a clear understanding. Betrothal period. A betrothal period, often a year, allowed the couple to get to know each other before the wedding. Dowry and gifts. The groom's family would typically provide a gift, often called a mohor, to the bride's family, symbolizing the union and compensating them for the loss of the bride. Why? Because she was an asset to her family. She was able to help with the things around the house. So there was a value to the person. A lot of times in this new people, men are like, what do you bring to the table? And when you list what you're able to do, they go, oh, I can do that for myself. Well, I'm sorry that you don't appreciate that people can do. They could cook, clean, do yard work. They could support you. You know what I'm saying? Be nurturing. I'm sorry that you don't value those basic things that not everybody can do, because according to Titus, you have to be taught to do those things. You have to be taught. You have to be trained up to be able to do those things properly and accordingly. No formal ceremony. So this is the difference between marriages in the biblical times and marriages now. There was never a formal ceremony. I don't know who decided that, who decided to spend all that money on that, or what kind of deceptive thing we have fallen into, because people have these elaborate marriages or weddings, and the marriages are terrible, right? So it says, while celebrations and feasts were common, so there was a celebration, there was a feast, okay? Formal wedding ceremonies as we know them today were not a standard part of biblical marriages, okay? So if you decide to just have a reception and go to the courthouse and get married, that's fine too. You know what I mean? All right. Key characteristics of biblical marriages. Here's key characteristics: commitment and exclusivity, leaving and cleaving, one flesh, open to life, community, and social event. Okay? Let's see what each one of these mean. It says, commitment and exclusivity. Marriage was understood as a lifelong exclusive commitment between a man and a woman. Leaving and cleaving. The couple was expected to leave their parents' household and form a new unified household. One flesh. Sexual intimacy was a key part of the marital union, symbolizing the two becoming one flesh. Open to life. Having children was considered an important aspect of marriage. Community and social event. Weddings were often elaborate community events and feasts and celebration. Again, they weren't events as we know them today, but it was more festive. More like, let's eat, let's gather, let's have a good time, let's be merry, let's do that, okay? When a wedding is like, let's show how beautiful I could be. It's just so different. It's so much money, when really it was a community thing. So really your marriage was held and funded by the community, because the community was happy that this alliance was now formed, which would benefit everybody, not just the two people getting married. Woo. There's something there. Last, I want to talk about, if I can make it within the segment, and we'll stop. No, we'll stop here. And when I come back, we'll be talking about differences from modern marriage. So I'm going to bookmark. With that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this brief 8 to 10 minute video just discussing marriage. I'm going to be breaking down several different things. Do I believe that we have missed out on arranged marriages? Yes, and that's why you're supposed to go to God and pray about who your spouse is. And then if God reveals to you who your spouse is, it's not him revealing it to you so that you can control the situation or pray manipulative prayers or any of that things. You're supposed to pray that God's will be done in your spouse's life, that you cover him with the blood of Jesus, and that you pray that everything that is not like God be broken off of his life before you guys are brought into union. That's your job. Now, the other stuff that people are doing, no. And you know what? That's okay, because now we're going to learn better. I want you to tune in every Wednesday for your lesson on marriage at I Wasn't Talking to Your Wife podcast. And then I also want you to go on my YouTube and check out all of my old interviews and all of the interviews that I did with these wonderful women who are in marriages, biblical marriages, okay? I will see you next Wednesday. Thank you again for your time.